In this video, we're going to talk about funk, and I'm going to give you my 8 tips to improve your funk rhythms. The bearded guitarist here, welcome to this channel. So if you love funk as I do, and if you want to play in the style of players like Nile Rodgers and Prince and many more, this is the video for you. Today I'm going to give you my tips to bring your funk playing to the next level. Let's get started saying that the funk is counted in sixteenths. So the way you should count 1 4/4 bar should be something like 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R. So if I play something like that, you might wonder about what stroke directions I was playing. Well, if you do count in sixteenths properly, 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and R, 4 E and R, while you play 1 E and R, 2 E and R, 3 E and 4 E and R, it doesn't really matter thinking in advance about the stroke directions as down and ups, because you just need to keep moving down and up constantly, so 4 movements per beat, down up, while you count the sixteenths. So if you happen to play on the number 1, for example, that would be a downstroke. On E, that would be an upstroke. On end, that would be a downstroke, and on R, that would be an upstroke again. So if I'm playing like, I know that I was playing down, down, up, but it's just because I never stopped my right hand. So if you control the right hand and you keep moving it constantly down, up, you already know what stroke directions to play in your funk strummings. The next thing that you want to master, the next step, is about knowing what a ghost note is and what is the difference between playing with staccatos or with legatos. So a ghost note is that scratchy sound that you heard me playing before, like that kind of thing in between the actual strums that I was playing. It's nothing but a regular strum with your picking hand, and it's your fretting hand which is actually removing the pressure, creating not the sound of the chord, but just a scratchy sound, which again, it comes from releasing the pressure on the fretting hand. This is also connected to the concept of staccatos and legatos. So sometimes you want to play something short, and again, you need to use the fretting hand to make sure that you mute the sound of the chord as soon as you play it. And sometimes you want to play something long. Okay, and both things are really important. They are important dynamics that you want to implement in your funk rhythms. So if I take a rhythm like, sometimes I was playing short sounds and sometimes I was playing longer sounds. So you just want to make sure that you control the muting with the left hand to make sure that you get the longer and shorter sounds that create so much variety and dynamic in your funk rhythms. The tip number 3 is knowing some classic funk chords. Okay, what is really important in funk is that you know the dominant 7 chords extended to the 9th, so basically the 9th chords, like this dominant 9th position that I was playing here, which on its own it could already give you some amazing grooves, like just using one position really, or the -7 chords, okay, which are really important with their own variations and embellishments. I'm sure that you all know this rhythm. Okay, if you actually know the song that I'm playing right now, leave the title in the comment section below. Even more -7 positions could give you, the sound that you're looking for, the funk sound that you're looking for. Like. Okay, so knowing your funk chords like minor seventh and a few quarters around, or major and minor triads and ninth chords is really what you need to play most funk tunes. So the next step is about a section which is all related to the fretting hand, so it's my right hand here. And the first thing I want to say is that every funk rhythm is played with a movement of your wrist. Always very loose with your wrist, okay? And you want to make sure that you are loose and relaxed to get that soft sound instead of a hard sound, or even worse if you move your forearm or your elbow. No, it's all about the wrist, okay? And let me also say that the way I hold the pick, this is the next tip, and I think this is very underrated, is not the same as when I play, for example, a scale. Okay? It's not the same as lead guitar. Now, the way I hold the pick is here on the edge, on the curved part, with my two fingers, thumb and index holding it. And then I also make sure that I move the thumb, not exactly 90 degrees towards the pointy part, but I go about 45, rotating towards the pointy part, so that I get something like that, which allows me to get the right angle when I hit the strings. It also allows me to avoid getting the fingers in between the pick and my strings, okay? And this connects to the last tip that I want to give you related to my right hand, to basically your picking hand, which is don't keep your wrist too close to the strings. So we want to make sure that we are about here with this kind of distance, so that we don't get too close to the strings, getting into a more forearm movement, and we can stay more loose, as we said before, just keeping, you know, a sort of distance between the wrist and the body of your guitar, and making sure that you get this kind of curve between the forearm and wrist and the body of the guitar, okay, like this rather than this. Okay, so we are getting now towards the last two tips that I want to give you. The first one is going to be timing awareness. So you need to know how to count the rhythms that you are learning. You need to make sure that you tap your foot with the beats, with the metronome or the backing tracks, and that overall you know on which 16th of which beat you are going to play every single stroke, okay? That will give you a feeling of control over the rhythm that you're going to play, and you will be more relaxed, more laid back on the groove without pushing ahead. This is the last tip that I'm going to leave you for today, and it's something that you might already have noticed while I was playing my rhythms, and it's don't play too many strings. I mostly play 2, 3, maybe 4 strings every time I play my rhythm. Because you don't want this low end of the guitar which might get in the way of the bass player, the keyboard player. You want to make sure that you involve more the high end of the guitar, okay? And that you get that tiniest sound coming from a few strings only. Here I would suggest to check out players like Nile Rodgers, who plays a few strings only in his fantastic funk rhythms that made a history of this genre. So yeah, make sure that you don't play stuff like that kind of, you know, 6 strings together, but you actually play softer, only a few strings, being loose, because remember, this is a style of music that should make people dance. All right, so these were my 8 tips to get better and improve your funk rhythms. I love funk, I'm sure you do as well, so please let me know what you think about this lesson, if you have more tips that you would suggest to anybody who wants to improve their funk rhythms. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon to receive a notification when my next lesson is up. You can also follow me on Instagram and we can be in touch even there. And don't forget to share this video with anybody who really loves funk guitar, and give it a like if you enjoyed watching it. This was The Bearded Guitarist. I'll catch you soon.